South Korea is warning its residents living near the border with North Korea to be on alert after its army detected more than 260 balloons believed to have come from Pyongyang. Media reports say some have already landed, while others are still airborne. These photographs released by South Korea's military showed white balloons with plastic bags attached to them, as well as rubbish strewn on the ground. Witness statements report a distinctive odor suggesting excrement could have been included. Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff have warned citizens to refrain from outdoor activities and report and then stay away from unidentified objects. It added the military is taking action. Propaganda balloons from both sides are not uncommon. South Korean activists have also taken to releasing balloons carrying leaflets or even money for people living north of the border. North Korea has repeatedly denounced such actions and vowed to retaliate. A defense official had warned of tit-for-tat action. He described how mounds of waste paper and filth will soon be scattered over border areas and the interior of the South, adding that Seoul will directly experience how much effort is required to remove them. And for more on this story, let's bring in Lim Yoon-suk in Seoul. Yoon-suk, what message is Pyongyang trying to make by sending these balloons, and why rubbish?
Well, as you said, many of the analysts here are saying that it's very likely that North Korea wants South Korea to know how difficult it is to find the balloons and then clear up the mess after they land in South Korea. Because, as you said, North Korea faces the same situation when South Korea sends balloons over to North Korea. Except in this case, from North Korea, it's mostly trash. And, there were reports saying that there were even some feces in the plastic bags, although there were also other things like the plastic water bottles or used paper and shoes. And there were also timers that were found inside the plastic bags attached to the balloons. And analysts are saying they were likely used to time when to release this garbage. Now, it's unsure why they're sending trash, although, this was a talk of over lunch for many of the South Koreans. And there was one person who was saying that it's very likely that North Korea was sending a message to the defectors, who are usually the ones who send those balloons over to North Korea, because North Korea usually refers to those defectors as trash. Now, this is not the first time, several years ago, North Korea also launched the balloons and carrying at that time similar items like the toilet paper and cigarette butts and also rubbish.
Well, Yoon-suk, to be fair, both North Korea and South Korea, their official stance has been to be against these the sending of balloons. I think South Korea, I remember covering this with you in 2020, actually passed a law banning the sending of propaganda via balloons. Still, it's happening.
Well, all that changed. And yes, it's always been an issue for North Korea because activists here, and they're usually the North Korean defectors, launch these balloons near the border areas with North Korea, usually on days that the wind is blowing towards the north. And these balloons usually carry things like cash, US dollars, USBs with banned media content like Korean dramas and K-pop music, but also leaflets containing information about their leader, Kim Jong-un, or what's happening outside of North Korea, or even sometimes they put in South Korean snacks. Now, some of the defectors who are here now in South Korea say they have seen these balloons, and some even decided to defect to South Korea after finding out what was really happening outside of North Korea through the leaflets inside those balloons. And that's why the activists here are saying that it is crucial that they keep sending these balloons over to North Korea. But for Pyongyang, Pyongyang's been condemning this for decades now. Analysts here are saying because of the concerns about this influx of outside information that the North Korean people were getting from these materials, since it is a very tightly controlled society. Now, North Korea had been demanding for years that they be halted. And so, like you said, in 2020, when the two Koreas had friendly ties, and 2018, there were summit meetings were being held between the leaders of the two Koreas, the parliamentary legislature passed a law saying it was a criminal act to launch those balloons because they were putting the safety of residents near the border in danger. But in 2021, the top court here said that this was unconstitutional and it violated this freedom of speech. And so since then, activists have been continuing to launch those balloons. And in fact, some of them did earlier this month. And, so since South Korea is launching it, I assume, we can expect many more from North Korea too.
Oh, thanks for that, Lim Yun-suk, on propaganda warfare via balloons over the border between North and South Korea.